Good morning, Jess, and good morning, guys. Great to be here in Darwin for the 20th anniversary of the Crown Bet Darwin Triple Crown and the first appearance of the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. After a grueling 3-week period, we kicked off in Detroit just a couple of weeks ago. We're in Texas just last Saturday night, and in the beautiful warm climate of Darwin's Hidden Valley Raceway. Sean Sermony is with me once again. Another cool place for these guys to come and race.
Yeah, you know, you nailed it right on the head, Matt. You know, the last 3 weeks, it's been a vicious round of worldwide racing. We've been all over the place, and we've raced a lot of different types of circuits. Belle Isle Grand Prix in Detroit, long, super fast circuit. Texas Motor Speedway, running some of the IndyCar tracks, some of the infield with dirt, huge jumps, dirt and aluminum jumps there. And now back here, which is, I don't know, for lack of a better term, similar to what we saw in Perth, within reason. And that weekend offered great racing, amazing action. So everyone over here in Australia setting up what races we're going to, what tracks we're going through, taking the lead by Nathan Kaiser, and really just putting us on the best circuit they have to offer for super truck racing. And that's going to happen right here this weekend. It's going to be a really fun time for every round of Stadium Super Trucks here.
We brought them here last year as a demonstration race. We had Brad Gallard, Paul Morris, and Toby Price come around to do their reconnaissance laps to get a feel for what it'd be like to bring these trucks up in championship trim. So you're getting a look now on how it's going to run this weekend. Similar to what we saw at the Gold Coast where we came down to the pits there. We'll go to a right and a left before hitting this ramp. And there's that sound again that we love from Perth earlier this year. Because this is nearly 1.1 kilometres from start to the end on the main straight, we need to slow them down a little bit.
Well, and that's the thing, is that it's not a matter of can the trucks go that fast. Yeah, they certainly can. They can handle the speed, but can they handle jumping at 130, 140, 150 miles an hour? Yeah, once maybe, but then something's got to give, and that's when you start having mechanical failures. And of course, you know, safety is of the utmost important with cams, USAC, and with Stadium Super Trucks with SST. So it's a matter of having that chicane on the front stretch just to slow them down and hit that big, fast jump right there. And then they're wide open all the way down into turn one. So some wild stuff as we're on board with Paul, the dude, Morris there. We're going to see a lot of action on board all weekend with Paul Morris here. He is actually right now was leading the points the majority of the season, our international points championship. He has now just stepped back to another Aussie, Matt Brabham. Matt Brabham moving up in the points, so he is now, Matt Brabham, 5 points ahead of Paul Morris. As there you see Craig Dantas as well. Dantas having a very exciting weekend of racing in Perth a few weeks ago, to say the least.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, very exciting, playing race car driver, playing turtle upside down, and doing some different things. But good news is for Craig, we got some new signs made on the right side of the jumps that says "Don't go here."
Exactly.
And so I think he's going to be all set, and just having a good time with Craig. He's a lot of fun, a lot of help as far as setting up this series over here in Australia and things. He's been one of the key guys, and also a great race car driver as well. But you got to joke with him, because if you don't get him first, he's going to get you right away.
Scott Struby does a lot of our live streaming and social media behind the scenes. Says, I'm not putting any more cameras on the roof of this truck. You've cost me 2 so far this year.
So folks, what we're seeing right here, this is a combination of both practice and qualifying session here for Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks. So they are out here right now for a timed session. There is 15 minutes and 47 seconds left in this session here. And as you see slow-mo, when that pops up, something wild must have happened here. There's Robbie Gordon, Gavin Harlan, he gets sideways in the 55 Royal Purple truck. Matty Brabham right on top of him. Look at the heat come out of the side of the exhaust. Brabham's gagging the throttle in the air. Harlan's landing all kinds of sideways.
We're 2 minutes into the session. We've already filled a highlights reel for the weekend.
There's another replay right there. That is Paul Morris and the Morris Finance running in hard. He actually just said in the driver's meeting, hey guys, let's not tear up their grass. They got a beautiful facility here. But he must have, and Paul Morris, you know, he's good about that stuff. He probably saw an area the mower missed. And so they went #dude mower. Here I come. I'm going to fix that spot up. Not even clocking in with the groundkeepers. Not even has to get paid to do that.
Exactly. And, just keeping up with traditions. At Long Beach, he did the same thing earlier this year. Here's Robbie Gordon, and the man who wrapped up the overall last week at Texas Motor Speedway, Gavin Harlan, the Royal Purple Racing Oils entry. Him and Jeff Hoffman, the 2 young stars of Stadium Super Trucks, making their appearance here in Darwin like the rest of the field. That was Bill Hines, who is not feeling the greatest today. No. So much so, you've created a bedtime story for him tonight.
I did, actually. Bill Hines, he got excused from from the drivers' meeting this morning, had a single meeting with himself and Cam's later on, and he said, hey, if there's anything else you could do to help you out, we'd be happy to help. And he asked for a nice little bedtime story to help him sleep, and so I was kind enough to do that for him. And we're not going to get into the details of that story as we're back on board with the Morris Finance truck right now of Paul the Dude Morris. And you had mentioned earlier on as well, as far as Harlan with an overall winner last week. Now, Gavin Harlan won the last 2 overalls in both Detroit and at Texas Motor Speedway the last 2 weeks. But he has yet to actually win a moto, win a race. So that being said, up there is Greg Gardner as well, doing some groundskeeping. Got the R&J batteries, not too bad. I mean, he only blew that turn by about 70 meters.
Yeah.
So
second behind Morris at the moment.
Well, and here's the thing with what's going on, and we did talk about this in the driver's meeting as well, is all these guys got brand new brakes, rotors, pads, the whole 9 on there, and you got to go out there, you got to seat those pads, you got to seat those rotors, you know, and so you go out there and just try to run it in deep on the first lap or two in a practice or qualifying session, you're going to overshoot some turns.
Well, a lot of pedal, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So that being said, some of these guys I think will most likely back it down a little bit. They're going to work on that. There you see them hard on the binders. Those tires, tires and wheels locked right up, and that is brand new brakes that need to be seated. Just like you buy a brand new car off the showroom floor. You got to go out there, and if you're doing right, you got to seat those brakes a little bit. They come from the factory done a little bit different than they do in a race car.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is the problem. The brakes work so well, but you got to seat your brakes, everything, and you got to run them through some heat cycles as well. Get them hot, let them cool. Get them hot, let them cool. And so these guys, some of them know how to do it. Some of them do it a little bit differently.
We can hear them coming past our commentary position. We're right at the end of pit exit here. Robbie Gordon's truck then didn't sound that healthy going past.
Well, and why that is, I don't know exactly. This is the first session out, but I can tell you that those of you that follow Stadium Super Truck Racing, SST Racing in Perth, you saw a young driver for his first time out, Jake Kostecki, really wad a truck up bad. Well, that truck was completely totaled. There's Paul Morris, the 67, runner a little wide, maybe trying to high line. And then you see Gardner trying to get to the inside of him in this practice qualifying session. But that truck that Kostecki crashed in Perth was completely totaled out. Well, one of our head SST technicians, Adam Gregg, he actually had an opportunity to take that back home, back to Adelaide, and he's been working on it for weeks on end. Put that truck back together in running order. Now, is there going to be some things that need to get worked out in that truck in this first session or so? Absolutely. You cannot barrel roll and pirouette a truck like that and then get at it the first time and everything's perfect. So Adam Gregg and Brad as well working on the truck getting together. So that's kind of a project for them. They want to see that thing working well this week, and I guarantee you're going to see that truck tip top here as the weekend goes on.
We've got some very tired mechanics behind the scenes that have been servicing the trucks in the USA to send towards China, where we head in 2 weeks' time for the next event. And the best 4 trucks we get from this weekend are going to be serviced and sent up there for a really exciting event up there in China at the end of June.
Yeah, got some big racing coming up here right outside of Beijing in 2 weeks, and then in Inner Mongolia as well, coming up right around the corner. Before that, of course, we'll be going back to North America and South Africa as well. So a lot of international racing coming up. But as we were mentioning earlier, Gavin Harlan, two top podium races, winning the overall 2 weeks in a row without winning an actual moto. The way this works, folks, is every time they're on the racetrack, whether it be for a qualifying session such as this is, or for a race session, they are awarded points. And it's not for championship points. It's not for worldwide championships, but for the weekend. Decide who is first, second, third, on bound, last for the weekend. So right now it is 5 points are up for grabs for the fastest qualifier in the session. 4 points for the second fastest qualifier in the session. On down to 3, 2, 1. 1 point going to the 5th fastest. 6th back will not receive any points in qualifying. So you want to qualify well. So that being said, if you are consistent all weekend long and you qualify well, you get a couple seconds and maybe a third here or there, but you're very consistent, you can win an overall, just like in motocross. So that is, Gavin Harlan has been very smart. That young man has calmed down, which has made him go faster in the last few months of racing, and it's shown that his consistency has been exactly what you need to move up. He's been moving up in the worldwide points. He's been winning overalls. He's had, I believe, 6 podiums in a row.
In a row, yeah.
So consistency can win championships here as he's facing down Sheldon Creed, Paul Morris, Morris, Robbie Gordon, Matty Brabham. He's catching these guys.
And he was quickest to a split second ago because Jeff Hoffman, the man we watch right now, the next of the kids, in quotes, if you will, from Arizona, the True Fuel 50-to-1 ratio truck behind is now quickest because not only is there points, there's some kablingy up for grabs as well. You know what that is?
That's exactly. Well, I do now. As you made I got some cash in my fingertips sign there. I didn't, but I just learned that now. So yeah, there's some cash that's up to offer here. So there are 3 qualifying runs. This one right now, you'll see one Saturday morning, Sunday morning. The qualifying laps, the best laps will be combined in the fastest of all of them. We'll go home with some big money at the end of the weekend here, and we'll present that to them on Sundays after Sunday's qualifying session, and you're going to be blown away by how much money it is. So we'll touch on that later in the weekend.
We tend to gravitate towards those drivers too at the end of qualifying, don't we?
Yeah.
Remember that loan we lent you? No, hand it over.
And so right now we are just a short period away from ending this practice qualifying session. This is one of 3 qualifying sessions this weekend, and one of 6 times that we're going to see these trucks out on the track as they'll be going racing for race number 1 later on this afternoon.
So final 20 seconds. It's been a shortened session. We're coming up towards the time certain point of 11:55. Hoffman and Dontis are arguing over the number 1 position right now. We're watching Hoffman down into this little S-bend in the Crown Bet corner. One last ramp before we hit the finish line. They'll get probably 1 lap in. Was the checkers come out? No, the checkers come out on him for this lap. He improves to go quicker again, but we've got to watch Dontis in the background. He doesn't improve though, and looks like Hoffman might hold on because we can't see the screen lighting up with any other drivers right now.
Look at big sparks off the rear bumper of Morris that time. He landed really rear end low to the ground, bumper touching down. So it looks like right now
Morris went to second.
Hoffman and Morris moves up to second. What a lap right there for the dude. So Hoffman, Morris, Dontis, Harlan, Gordon, Brabham. Odd to see Gordon Brabham down there in the 5th, 6th position here. So obviously some struggles for them in qualifying number 1.
Casual as you like, Paul Morris in the United Fiber and Data overalls. Support from Morris Finance this weekend. Finishes second by 0.09 of a second behind Hoffman. Here's a replay of what just happened a few moments ago. Look at him landing Matt Brabham style on the rear of the truck. Truck number 67. Starting from second, we'll start from the rear of the field for race number 1. And this is going to be a trend we'll see all weekend long. It's Bill Hines bouncing down, and Matty Brabs in the DeVilbiss, number 83, crashing down in 6th position. But guess who will start from pole later on this afternoon?
Look at that, Bill Hines, most pole sitting positions ever in SST racing, and he'll be back up on the pole. But from fastest to slowest, we are Hoffman, Morris, Dontis, Gavin, Harlan, Robbie Gordon rounds out the top 5. Brabham, Gardner, and Hines in 8th right now. So it kind of worked out that for the most part, other than Brabham, Gordon, you expect those guys to be up front.
Yeah, only second covering the first 6 trucks there is Robbie Gordon in the Safecraft truck that we'd see Sheldon Creed in. He's back in the US racing in NASCAR ARCA Series this weekend, as he did last weekend, the Pride Texas event. We check out some highlights of the one-shot qualifying session here today for Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks.
Yeah, on board with Dontis right here. Dontis running really well so far in this qualifying session. There you see trucks all over one another. Look at 3 of them in the air here. There's Robbie Gordon, Safecraft, Royal Purples, Gavin Harlan, and DeVilbiss, Matty Brabham, our current points leader right now. All 3 of them up in the air. None of them too straight, as they're all a little out of whack over that headers jump. And now we're on board. Morris Finance says, you missed a spot in the lawn, and I'm going to get it for you. Hashtag Dude Mower 67 getting that handled. And what a cool shot right there, folks. Awesome camera angle as you see these guys almost up on 3 wheels through there. And I just love the sound of this one right here.
We've got pretty much every angle covered around this Hidden Valley race course in 2017. This was Morris having another moment down at the final turn aboard the Morris Finance entry, and Greg Gartner going side by side. Dontis finished up in 3rd position on all 4 wheels in the Shannon's Insurance truck. Paul Morris holding down 2nd, and the Hoff grabbing the number 1 spot in qualifying for the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks here in Darwin.
And there you are. There is Gordon right there, the Hoff and Harlan. Those guys have been battling all weekend long. We're going to see that battle continuing on through all 6 sessions here this weekend.
So Morris misses out on another $4,000 by 0.09 of a second. But give it to the young guy from Arizona. He'll start from the back of the field for race number 1.